Hi, my name is Althea Moses. I'm a Belizean Olympian and national record holder in the triple jump, and you are watching Belizean Legends.
This is Belizean Legends, and I'm Bilal Morris. Today we will be speaking with the 1996 Olympian, Althea Moses. Althea Moses represented Belize in the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. A very awesome, intellectual, outstanding Belizean athlete that have gone on after her track days and representing Belize in the 1996 Olympics. Althea has also gone on to write books, has become a motivational speaker, has been able to become a personal trainer, right? She has continued to give back in terms of her career, never did end it, and it still is going on. Althea Moses, join us here today on Belizean Legends. My sister, I want to welcome you to Belizean Legends.
Thank you.
Very much, very much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on Belizean Legends.
Hey, you are, and you are a legend in your own right, because Althea, you go back to the 1996 Olympics. You were one of those Belizeans who migrated from Belize at a very early age.
Yes.
You had that ability, that ability of a runner, of a track athlete, and you came here and you went to college and you utilized that benefit.
Yes.
I want to immediately start out by asking you to talk about how you emerged into this track athlete that you became in 1996, and then how that helped you to carve out this career as a nutritionist, a personal trainer, right, a motivational speaker, and someone who has wrote a bestseller book. Talk about how it began for Althea Moses.
Okay. Well, I believe it all began in Belize. Because in Belize, my mother was an entrepreneur. She had her home business where she made bread and bun and so Ideal, which is called Popsicle in America.
Yes, yes.
She also was a seamstress. She made clothes for people, uniforms for the students. And so she was an entrepreneur, and I did a lot of going back and forth to the market to purchase the ingredients to make those foods and so on. And so I ran a lot in Belize, back and forth. I lived near Neil's Pen Road, Yabra area.
Very much so, very familiar area.
Yes, and we lived on Benbow Street and Crowder Road. They call that area ex-serviceman area.
Ex-serviceman area,
Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of running around, so I believe that track and field started there for me. It made me strong, I had great endurance. And then coming to America, I got involved in when I came to America, I was 10 and a half years young, and we migrated to Los Angeles for 1 year and then migrated to Inglewood, where I stayed for 26 years. And I got involved in sports in 6th grade. You know, they have PE in 6th grade, and I was very active, very competitive, trying to beat the boys all the time, and I did beat the boys.
That's where it always starts, right?
And I got good at running. I got good at playing basketball also. 6th grade, went on to junior high school in Inglewood at Monroe Junior High School. And again, I was in PE and did very well, very active, very competitive. And so I just got stronger, my endurance got stronger, my muscles got stronger. And then I ended up at Morningside High School, which is also in Inglewood, and continued playing basketball there and running track. When basketball season ended, my freshman year, I lived in an area called the Bottoms in Inglewood, which is right off of Crenshaw and 104th, near the new Ram Stadium to come. And it was rough. You know, gang members, people getting killed and shot at, the drugs and stuff being sold. Yeah, so I grew up in that when I was in high school. And so I didn't want to just sit around doing nothing, being idle. And so I decided to join the track team. And I went to the coach and told him that I wanted to be a part of the team. I just finished basketball season. And so he gave me different events to participate in to see what I was good at. And I was good at the middle distance running and the jumping. I wasn't fast. I wasn't a sprinter, but I was fast and strong. And so I did very well in the 800-meter run and also the triple jump. So that's where track and field started.
Did you run
Belize, and then I just got better and better because I continued to remain active and interested and competitive. And keeping myself out of trouble, I ended up running track my freshman year at Morningside High School.
Wonderful. You know, it pivots with a lot of the legendary classic athletes who you hear tell their story, you know, that it all started that way. You know, a lot of these top athletes that were predominantly African American athletes in the United States, you know, grew up in very challenging neighborhoods throughout the United States. But apparently you will always hear them talking about the fact that they run for their lives. You know, they had to escape that, you know,
yes,
and they some of them did escape it and stuff like that. But they always talk about that story where, despite of the challenges, you know, because this is a message to the Belizeans at home, you know, a lot of these children are talking about the fact that Belize has changed and has got the same problems with gangs and stuff like that. And it's very difficult for them to do what the greats did in the 70s and the 80s. But if you use certain things as an excuse, you know, it will be a problem for you. You never did let that be a problem for you.
I did not.
And use it as an excuse why you could not become the best athlete that you could be.
And I'll tell you why. My mother was no joke.
Hey.
She had a rough life growing up in Corazon without a mother, because her mother migrated to America when she was 12 years old. And she was from grandma's house to auntie, both grandparents' house. And I wrote about it in my book. My book is a mini memoir in the beginning.
I got to get into that book. I have to read that book.
Yes, and she had a rough life, and so from age 12 till she met my father when she had me at 14 in Belize, excuse me, she didn't have a good life. And so when we came along, she had 5 girls. I'm the oldest. She made a decision that she was not going to allow our lives to be like hers. And so she was strict. She was structured. We had to follow her directions the first time. I told you, if we backtalk her, get fresh with her, she told us, you know, what's going to happen to our teeth. She elashwe and told us, I love you. I elashwe, but I love you. I elashwe because I love you.
You know what? One top Belizean journalist sat right where you are one time, and he said he came up just like you. He got caned for coming in second, right?
Wow.
He said his father would tell him, he said, who's the way all these American kids talk to their parents today? He said, I would dare not talk to them, talk to my dad, because he told me, he said, after I pick up my teeth off the floor.
I guess
so we all got that story about those Belizean parents.
teeth, right?
He said, after I pick up my teeth off the floor.
But I told you, my mother said, swallow it. You're either going to swallow it or pick it off. You got 2 choices. So she was tough, and that's why my sisters and I were about getting an education and being successful at something. We couldn't just sit around being idle. No, we couldn't. We couldn't be disrespectful to her, any adults, or even our teachers. We had to be the best that we can be, you know, as children.
She raised you all by herself.
She did. Yes, my father was there. He was a good provider. He provided the house and the food and the clothes. He provided the basics. So I do respect him for that. But he didn't give her enough to have a better life. So she became an entrepreneur, as I mentioned. Started her own store right out of the house. Seamstress and selling bread on bun and so on. So it was my mother who, she was very serious about us not having to struggle in life like she did as a young girl. So I give the credit to her.
I'll tell you, man, that's a very, you know, those are very motivational stories for young people to hear. Well, let's talk about your 1996 representation for Belize in the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. Talk about how that started. How did that happen?
Well, it's actually, and I have to go back to Morningside High School when I was running track, when I realized that I was really good at triple jumping in ninth grade. At one of the last league meets, or not league meet, there's another CIF,
The CIF
meet. The prelims, though, I didn't qualify for the finals for the following week, but I realized that I was really good at triple jumping, and so I did some research and tried to find out if it was in the Olympics, and it wasn't. Not for women.
Just for men.
It was only there for men. And so at ninth grade, as a 15-year-old, I was pretty intelligent and ambitious. I started telling people I'm going to the Olympics in the triple jump for Belize, because I wasn't a U.S. citizen yet,
Yes,
so
yes.
I would be representing my home.
Very much.
And ninth grade, I'm telling people I'm going to the Olympics. And they're like, but it's not in the Olympics yet. They have to put it in there because the women here in America were doing better, and the European women were jumping well, and so they had to put it in the Olympics, is what I believed. And so I worked hard in 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade to be the best that I could be, and so I ended up winning the state championship in the triple jump. I won the junior Olympic gold medal and broke the record my junior year at Morningside.
Look at that, Belize.
Yes. And I also got a silver medal in the same junior Olympics the year before I broke the record. And so I just got better and better with the mindset that I'm going to be in the Olympics for this event that's not even in the Olympics yet. I had a vision that they had to put it in there for
You
women.
would be the first.
And lo and behold, the first year it was a medal event for women was the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, you brought it on board, huh?
I put it out there and it happened.
And it happened.
The first time in the entire history of the games.
Wow. Listen to that, Belize. She was not only a representative in that game, but she also revolutionized a particular part of track in introducing that particular part of track too. And that's very historical that our young people need to hear. You know that whatever you put your mind to, look at that. You were saying, I'm going to the Olympics. Though that particular meet that event was not in there yet.
Not for women.
And because of your persistence and your working and continue, you actually got it on board, and it came through.
In 1996.
It came through with some lobbying and all of that, right? It came through. Yes. That is wonderful. Talk about the games. Talk about your performance and how how you came up. The performance, not necessarily in terms of if you won or you lose, but what was it like to compete against the greats, the giants, man?
Well, I experienced it because Belize thankfully sent me to 2 world championships in athletics.
Yes.
In 1993 and 1995.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was there with a couple other Belizean athletes in the world championships in Stuttgart, Germany, and Göteborg, Sweden. In 93 and 95, and so I experienced jumping against those athletes before I made it to the Olympics. Yes, and that's huge. World championships in track and field, you're competing with the people who you'll be seeing at the Olympics. So it was amazing. It was the best athletic event of my life, the Olympics, 96. And so I didn't win, but I did place 20-something in the world at the Olympic Games.
That's big because you know how many millions of best that is there.
That's correct. And each country sends their best. So I was obviously one of Belize's best, one of the 5 that they sent, and I'm really honored. And so it was amazing to wear my country's name on my uniform and represent them after 13 years of hard work and sacrifice, going through different coaches, I almost didn't make it because I did get a full scholarship to UCLA in track track because I was number 3.
Say it again.
I earned a full track scholarship to UCLA when I graduated from Morningside High School because I was number 3 in the country in the triple jump.
And that says a lot, Althea Moses, because academics and sports go hand in hand.
They do.
You can't have one without the other. A lot of people want to be, I'm great at this, I'm great at that. Football, basketball, track. but then your grades are lousy, how are you going to get a scholarship to even further go to college to continue to go up into the professional level?
That's right.
So a lot of that is a big thing for a lot of young aspiring young athletes, that look, you can, if you combine being one of the best you can in school, don't just disregard the academic part.
That's correct.
Do well in that so that you can then earn a scholarship. Isn't that the way it works?
Yes, yes. And the way I was thinking about it in high school was that my mother, first of all, my mother kept saying, get an education, get an education, get an education. It was a broken record in our house. You had to graduate from high school, because she didn't, because I told her life. And so I listened to her, I believed her, that education was the key to open the doors of opportunities during track as well as after track career ended. And so I believed that. And I also believed that if I got good enough grades, that I shouldn't have any problems choosing those offers for track scholarships. And that's what happened. I graduated 6th in my class from high school with a 3.6 overall GPA.
That's the college material right there.
Yes, and I was highly recruited, like I said, because I had the 3rd best triple jump mark in the country. In America.
So you were a student athlete.
Yes,
yes. Student athlete.
I was a scholar student athlete.
Yes.
And so I took care of books when I was on the bus, when I was at track meets, in between events. I'm doing my homework. On the bus, I'm doing my homework. Anybody who remember me during basketball season as well, I'm on the bus doing homework. I'm in the stands doing homework, because I was serious about getting those grades so that I can have the opportunity to accept scholarships to any school that I
Your mother was letting you know, I can't afford it. I cannot afford to send you.
Well, I already knew my mother couldn't afford it, because she was a single mom.
Yeah, you better perform. Yeah,
yes,
you did.
Yes, and then my coaches were very helpful in telling me, you're so good that you can go to college on a free ride. That's what we call it in school, free ride. That means full scholarship. They're paying for your books, your tuition, as well as your lodging. So I believed, and I worked very hard to make those things reality. And I'm so glad it worked out for me, that I didn't get injured. Because sometimes you get injured.
Very much, which their dreams
I could have gotten sidetracked with boyfriends.
None of those things distract you.
When you become a very popular in track and field or any sport, the boys are coming.
The distractions are there.
They're there.
The distractions.
But I was on a mission to get a full scholarship to UCLA, and I was on a mission to become an Olympic gold medalist. And so I had to keep my blinders on.
Very much so.
That's not to say that I didn't have fun having relationships with the young men, but my track came first, my books came first, and
you mix it all up, and you did it in a balanced way.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes.
And this is Belizean Legends. We are speaking with the legendary Althea Moses. Belize, you just hear it from her. This thing is about putting in the work. If you want to get from point A to point B, you have to. This goes out to all the young Belizean athletes that are aspiring, especially to my little niece, Faith Morris, who is earning a scholarship to go to University of the West Indies. Awesome track athlete.
Oh yes.
And my brother raised her from a kid, and I want Faith to see this. This is the great Althea Moses. Faith, you've seen another example. Keep going. You hear her say, you hear her speak, and I'm speaking that directly to my niece here, because she will be very motivated by what you were saying.
And I can inspire.
Very much so. You're not only going to inspire her, Althea Moses, but you will inspire many in this interview. You moved from there, and later on, you performed in the Olympics, and you crossed that bridge. You completed that chapter in your athletic life.
Yes.
But you didn't stop there.
That's correct.
You didn't stop there. You went on to become a personal coach. You went on to empower other young people. I guess you were always called back to your first school Morningside to talk to students and stuff like that, right?
I did coach for 1 year at Morningside in the early 2000s. And I also coached at, I was the head coach at Bishop Montgomery High School. It's a private school in Torrance. I did that. But before I went into coaching, after my track career ended, my 13-year track career ended in Atlanta, I decided that I needed to get more education.
You were 13 years, you did track for 13 years. Wonderful.
Yes.
Look at that, you stayed in there for a
Yes.
long time.
Yes.
Yes.
There were distractions, and it was, it was a battle up and down, but for the most part, I kept the blinders off and believed that I would be an Olympian because I was good enough. And I was Belizean, and I knew that through being a Belizean that I was the Belizean best. I'm the Belizean national record holder to this very day in the triple jump, in the long jump, and I believe the 400-meter hurdles, and something else.
Wow.
I'm national record holder
Look
for
at
Belize.
that. Hey, look at this, Belize. There it is, this awesome
Yes.
lady.
Me jumping in the Olympics.
I used to hear about Althea Moses.
1996.
And coming up, I remember covering the 1984 Olympics at Los Angeles there at the Coliseum. And looking at all those Belizeans who were here representing Belize. But I remember this very well. Althea Moses, 1996 Olympian. Very, 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 very much.
Yes. So I was finishing up by saying that being a Belizean Olympian and that I didn't want to just let the career go. I gained so much knowledge about how to build a body, make it strong, and keep it healthy.
That's experience.
That I had to go on using it, turning it into a business, and that's what I basically did. But before I turned to business, I mentioned that I needed to get more education. Yes, I had a UCLA degree, and but I felt that I needed more because I wanted to make more money. And so I decided I would go into teaching.
Yes.
So I went back to
What
school.
did you study when you went to UCLA? Apart from
History. I was a history major. Just general history, because I'm very good at writing, and I'm good at writing essays, so I can do the research and put it on paper in my own words with supportive information. So after the Olympic Games, I went back to school and I got my teaching credential and my master's in education, because I was told if I got those two, then I was able to make more money and I can live comfortably. This is what my mother and my grandmother brought me to America for.
You keep going. You keep going.
Yes.
You became a credential teacher.
Yes, professional credential, and a master's in education with cross-cultural teaching. So I'm able to teach kids who speak different languages.
Right there at UCLA too.
No, not at UCLA. I got that from National University. I went to night school, 4 hours in the evening, twice per week, and I finished it in a month and a half.
Wow.
The credential and the master's in education.
Very, very bright lady here, Belize. Look at this.
Yes.
Yes. Althea, your story is so packed with dynamic things, but I want to first, before we even go more in depth, I want to talk about your book. Hold it up, because this lady, we already heard of a pack of information right there, and we could see why is it that she was able to produce a book of this sort. Man, can you maybe you sing it good? You sing it good?
Irresistibly fit.
Yeah. Irresistibly fit. Right?
Yes.
Irresistibly fit.
Let me read the subtitle.
Yeah, and you could tell by that, you could see that slim, trim, firm body built woman on the front page. Right?
Yes, and the subtitle.
An epitome of what Althea Moses is all about. Right?
Yes, but so to
lean and mean.
Right. So it's how to become spiritually strong, sexy, and firm woman. Where everyone admires and no one can resist.
Yeah.
I have to put something that make people want to look at this book. And so
very
that's exciting.
Talk about an advice in terms of what you would give in terms of those challenges that you faced and defeated. What advice would you give to young people, young women like yourselves, who are athletes, who are going through sort of similar things?
Well, start with a dream. Having a dream, whatever it is you dream of acquiring, being, accomplishing, start with a dream and write it down. Write down what you want in life. And it's okay to dream big. It's free.
Yes.
Dream big. I was a big dreamer, just like my mother. In Belize, she dreamed of living in America, the States, taking care of her girls, and their girls graduated from high school and just having a better life than her. And so dream big, Write it down and get mentorship. Go and seek out the information from people who've already done it. Read books. That's what I did a lot of when I was struggling. I read a lot of self-help books, and then I finally ended up reading the Bible. And I continue reading self-help books, and to this day, almost 20 years later, I'm still reading the Bible.
Not to be afraid to go look for help.
Yes.
To go ask questions.
Yes. Talk to mentors. Who know. Yes. And then ask the divine creator of all things. I don't care what you call the divine creator of all things. Ask for divine guidance and listen.
What we want to talk about too is also what you would like to do in terms of making a contribution to your country of birth, Belize, in terms of the athletics. What has Althea Moses envisioned? Maybe you have already thought about it, right? Maybe something that you may want to do in the future. But how have you thought about going back in terms of contributing to the Belize Athletic Association to help empower these young Belizean women who are trying to make it in track, like my little niece I just mentioned? How will Althea Moses make a difference in terms of that you are at this par now? How do you make a difference in terms of contributing something back to Belizean field?
Start a program where I can mentor the kids on how to become a champion, period. So I know how to do it. So starting a program, talking with the IOC, or the Belizean Olympian Committee, and start from there.
Yes. Marcusha, I hope you're listening to this, Marcusha. Hear this lady right here. You got big help. Reach out.
There will be a program where I'm mentoring the kids on how to become champions, period. And I would love for someone to contact me about this book, because it's a mini memoir talking about my life in Belize and coming to America, becoming an Olympic gold medalist and an Olympian in 1996. And it also talks about building the body. I talk about my journey, my 13-year journey is laid out in here. What I was feeling, what I experienced, the meets I went to, the things that I had to do to become a champion. I'm a business owner of my own health and fitness company. I call it Althea Moses Health and Fitness Company. And I teach people how to feel and look better, because I know what to do through nutrition. I have in chapter 12 here, I talk about nutritional choices. And in chapter 10 and 11, I talk about how to build the body and with strength training, with weight. So even your own body weight.
Yes. We want to also have you to talk about your work as a personal trainer
coach,
and motivational speaker. Talk about what you do here.
Okay. With my health and fitness company, I have I created my own exercise. I call it Althea because my name means, it's a Greek name meaning healer, healing, and wholesome. And wholesome means health and well-being. So I teach a fitness class in Inglewood at Derby Park, and I'm teaching you how to stretch, how to warm up the body, how to do cardio in only 4 minutes, and do strength training so that you can strengthen the body, because you need balance.
Endurance.
And cardio alone is not enough.
Yes.
You have to do some strength training, because when you build the muscles, they're going to burn more fat calories. And so as we age, when we get 30 plus, we start to lose 3% of our functional lean muscle mass, and so we get weaker. It's hard to get up out of a chair like we used to. You have to rock to get up.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay?
I'm going through it right now. Yeah.
Yes,
Can't be sitting down for too long right now.
Yes, you lose 3% of your
yeah.
functional lean muscle mass every 10 years. So by the time you turn 50, you're losing 6%. So you have to keep strengthening the muscles so that you can burn calories and you can remain strong and do the things that you do in your everyday life.
We want to sort of glance through some of your paraphernalia that you brought here. I see you brought your jersey of 1988. Come on, let's get that and see.
Belize
follow
sent
us.
5 athletes to the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, and we all got the same sweatsuit. You see that it says Belize on the back.
You getting it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's the the formal dress, right?
Yeah,
The
that's
suit.
for when we're on the track
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whichever sport you were in, right? And then this is, I'll show this last. This is the track uniform with our sweet home Belize name
Hey,
on
check
it.
it out.
And that's what I'm wearing
Yeah.
in the picture here.
That's her right there on
That's what I'm wearing.
the photograph. Check it out, Belize.
And I can still fit this,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
You can still fit it because you have never stopped being an athlete.
That's
you
right.
have continued to be an athlete and work out.
Yes, I'm very active.
Keep your body trained.
Yes. Now this one is so touching because all of us wore this blazer
Yeah, very nice.
for the opening ceremony.
Belizeans, when we look at Belize in the parade with the flag, we
Yeah.
see everybody coming out in their formal dress. This is a suit that the Belize Olympians were wearing in 1996.
The blazer we had to wear for the opening
Yes,
for the opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Email me and or WhatsApp. You can call me and ask me how
Mind
it's
giving
done.
out your email?
I don't mind.
Yeah, so go ahead.
It's Althea Moses at me.com. My first and last name at me.com. And I'm also my website. You can go to my website and see what I'm up to at altheam.com.
And out there, this book could be gotten at Amazon.
You can get it at my website
Yeah.
as well as Amazon.
Yes. Want
So-
to give the information for your website?
Yes, my website is altheam.com. That's ALTHEA M as in Moses.com. They can purchase it at my website or Amazon as well.
It is a book that we all must read. This is someone who have done the job, have done the work. And when we have people who have done the work, these things are beneficial for every human being. You don't necessarily have to be an athlete, right? Althea,
That's
this
true.
is for everybody.
Yes, yes.
Right? And this lady wants to help a lot of us to have a healthy, it's a health and wellness. out
Yes,
there.
to feel and look better.
To feel and look better.
You want to feel more energy.
Self-esteem about
You want to be
yourself.
stronger.
Yes.
You want to feel good about
Very
who
much.
you are. This is a must read.
It's a must-read, people. Belizeans at home and abroad, and listeners and viewers all over the world that watch Belizean Legends. Check this out.
Irresistibly
Okay?
Fit by Belizean Althea Moses.
Thank you very much. Althea, and I want to end on that note to say that I want to thank you very much again for coming into Belizean Legends and for
You're
giving
welcome.
us to teach us. You know, because this is what
That's
you're
what I
doing.
am. I am
You're
a
teaching
teacher.
us. You're teaching us, and there's a phrase that I love, and I'm going to end this with this saying: "Ask those who know if you do not know."
I love it.
Ask those who know if you do not know. This is Belizean Legends, and I'm Bilal Morris. Thanks for watching.